Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Sunday, January 10th, 2021. And as usual, I'm using the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann. Okay, so 3 cards for the day. The second one, the middle one, will be the theme. And aligning with divine law, aligning with universal law, the laws of love. What is it that we need to know? And as usual, of course, I'm looking for a timeless message to help us heal our souls. Excellent. Wow. Okay, these are beautiful cards. So we have the Page of Swords as the theme, and then we have the Six of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. Okay, much better cards than yesterday. Yesterday's cards were very challenging. Okay, so Sacred Chopstick goes here, and diving into the Page of Wands, or I'm sorry, Page of Swords. I'm thinking Wands with all this yellow energy, but Page of Swords, you can see she's reading. So to me, and we have all the light bulbs up here, so to me this is a lot about research and bridging the gap, going from one realm to the other, or maybe straddling both sides. And looking for new ideas, listening to ideas that come through. We have birds here that bring in messages. She's focused on something that she wants to learn about. And there's an abundance. It looks to me like an abundance of light, like literal light. We have so much light around her. And so, it's about researching, definitely, I feel. It has to do with inspiring, getting some inspiring ideas, inspiring yourself. But first you have to set the intention. That's the way light works. It's faster than the speed of, everything else. And the deal is just to set your intention for what you want to learn about, and then start exploring. This card is tremendously geared towards adventure and exploring, but mostly, new ways to communicate, new thoughts, new ideas, especially we just look at all these ideas up here. And to remember that in spiritual law, you just have to remember that your intention brings in the energy and consciousness that wraps around your intention. Your conscious intention is your consciousness. That's the healthy part of your ego that says, I want to learn about that. This really inspires me. I want to know more about that. And then your intention to actually do it, and then your physical follow through. She's kind of bridging the gap here. She's moving. This is a very movement oriented card, no matter which deck you're looking at. Usually, unless it's there should be movement in it anyway. But for sure here, and for sure in the traditional Rider-Waite, there's tremendous movement in the card, and it brings like-mindedness together. It brings in people that who think the same way, or who are exploring, and sometimes it's about a science project, or the way quantum mechanics might work, or the way metaphysics works, all of those things. But most importantly, deal is, just remember, you set your conscious intention for what it is that you want, and then the universe is bound by law to receive you. And that's why, you just, everything that you come in, you just have to open first, set your intention, or set your intention and then open. Either way, you can do it together at the same time. And then suddenly you'll be inspired to go look in a certain direction. And it will also bring in other people who are, interested. So it's like under the law of affinity, like attracts like. Or, some people call it the law of attraction. You'll come together. So let me see, is there anything else more about diving into this card? You know, in the realm of swords, and we have the Six of Swords here as well. We're in, you know, just thoughts and ideas and communication, which to me brings in the element of community as well. You know, because we're not going to communicate in a vacuum. It doesn't work that way. None of us live in a vacuum, or we can't. I mean, it's not going to work well. But it does have to do with that element of thoughtfulness, making plans, like how do you get from here to here? What is it that you need to know to bridge the gap? And sometimes it has to do with being patient. And then, of course, you know, because the pages most often bring in news, this can be news that inspires you. And that's especially true bringing in the Six of Swords. So combining with the Six of Swords, we have, you know, you can see right here, we have a boat. We have a woman traveling in a boat. There's the life force indicated here with the red, you know, cape or robe or sweater or shawl. And there's a bag. This is often the card of immigration. And you can see, I think that's what that is there. Let's see. I think it's, yeah. Let's see if I can get the glare off and get it. Oh, there we go. Okay, see right here? It's like we have, you know, the Statue of Liberty right there. So I don't know if she's headed away from it or towards it, but I think that the image is there so that, you know, we remember that this is the card of immigration. But regardless, if you know, it doesn't have to be immigration, but it's definitely always like moving to a calmer, peaceful life, moving towards peace. It's also, you know, the sixes have to do with relationship. So, and usually in the traditional Rider-Waite, there's a mother and a child, and you know, of course, they would have very little baggage. Like she's just carrying one bag here, but there's a man, you know, getting her across. So it feels like, combined with these cards, it's ideas that move you forward. Look at all this movement. And then it gets you to this place of, which way do I want to go? Because, you know, there's a lot of, well, this can sometimes be looked at as like the destiny and fate card, but I always like to look at free will, because it's our free will that turns that wheel of fortune for us. It's our movement and our actions going in the direction that we want to go that gets the wheel turning. So nothing is, well, things are fated from the past decisions and actions and attitudes that we have, you know, either made or that we carry. So this can be moving away from limited, because the Five of Swords is before this card, which is all about, you know, conflicts. So this can be moving out of conflict, moving towards more peaceful times, and then finding like-minded people, and you can change your reality. You can literally change your entire life. This is usually a card of good, you know, fortune and happiness. Because everybody deep down inside, whether they know it or not, they want to be happy. Even if you have a, you know, a false belief on top of that says, you know, it says I don't deserve happiness, or some false belief that's in the soul that needs to clear out. Deep down inside, we're all hardwired for happiness. We're all hardwired for bliss and unity, because that's who we truly are deep down inside, no matter what's, you know, on top that needs to be cleared out. So what is it that makes you happy? What is it that would get your world turning the way you want it to go? And I always like to look at the little, you know, she has some dice around. Oops, get it to focus. There we go. Let's check out the dice around her neck. To me, that's the message is to, you know, take a risk. And look how happy she is. She's pretty happy. She's like, hey, look at that. I can stand on one foot. I can balance on one foot, on my toes. You know, I don't know how long a person could do that, but it's, you know, it's more about the symbology of the card. So moving forward, it just feels like there's so much movement forward with these cards and moving towards happiness, creating your own, you know, turns in life. This card is all about turning points. And again, exercising your own free will. I think that's the best way to look at this. And to especially think about, feel into what it's like to be happy and free and away from conflict, out of that conflict. And then what studies, what resources do you need to, you know, to involve yourself with, to continue to get your world turning the way you want it to turn. Sometimes, on another level, this could be that, you know, all about like more social, just a, because there's so, I keep feeling like this has to do with joining in. You know, joining in and community. I keep hearing communing. So moving out of conflict brings us into that place where we can socialize in a better way, I suppose. Well, yeah, because to stay in any type of a conflict, like if we were looking at the Five of Swords, that just takes you in the wrong direction. This card is you're free and you're going in the right direction. So yes, I think that's it. As far as, but I kept hearing the word community and communion. So what community do you want to line up with now that you're free from conflict? Who do you want to hang out with? Who are these people that you want to hang out with and exchange information? And how could that make your life better? This is often the card of, you know, studying and getting certificates, getting diplomas. This would be, you know, how that changes your life. So it might be that you need a certificate. Let's say you want to be more involved, like online. You might need some, you know, some IT type of certificate, or at least just any, you know, any type of vocation that you want to do. This card could be about as well as the Page of Pentacles. But this feels more like online, you know, moving out of the conflict of worrying about having that type of work that would be challenging with, you know, the pandemic that we're all going through, and working more online and how that could change your world for the better. Or it could be part-time, you know, in one realm and part-time in another, because, you know, to do just the same thing all the time can sometimes be boring. And this is a very exciting card. This card is not boring at all. Neither is this one. Like I said, there's just so much movement. So great. Excellent. I like seeing that. So, okay, well, that's it for today. Thanks, you guys, and take good care. Bye.